Welcome to another edition of Jive Time Turkeys. I'm at Time Turkeys on Twitter and at Jive Time Turkeys on Instagram and YouTube. This episode, I'm joined by
a gentleman who's waiting for August 16th? 16th.
16th.
Yeah, waiting for August 16th. That's who I am. Good day, sideline guy. Oh, and the 15th, because my homeboy turned 40. Woo woo. But then the day after that. Woo woo.
The greasy grandpa from Cleveland's finest.
What up, everybody? Starlight Daniels, check it in.
All right. So I just got a trio of things to talk about. First off, we'll start off up in Cleveland. Yeah, these kind of heavy topics we, got to talk about. So the NFL, well, first of all, Sue Robinson made a judgment, 6 games. We'll get to that in a second. But then the NFL appealed that decision. Tonight, we heard who was going to be looking at the decision. Former judge from New Jersey, heavy on domestic violence, heavy on sexual assault. And so pretty much the understanding is that Deshaun Watson will at least get a year suspension. In terms of the length, I don't really know where to come down on that. I felt 6 games felt too little. My biggest thing is now this is really Roger Goodell and his cronies getting to assign a punishment. And I don't know how I feel about that when earlier in the week, we just got one of the owners caught tampering and tanking, and he got a slap on the wrist. And one of the things that they said was that Goodell is going to light into the owners the next time he sees them. And it's like, I don't know, that whole thing I just can't figure that part out. I don't know. 6 games feels too little, but then Goodell, given the extra games, also doesn't feel good either. So that's where I'm at right now.
This is not going to feel good because it's from the top. There ain't nothing to feel good about. They put it on full display every chance they got. Had plenty of opportunities in the past to do the right thing. So it's all based on capitalism. Regardless, either way, they're gonna win. Let's say somehow he plays this season. People just gonna tune in to see him lose. Best case scenario, I think for the NFL would be if the Browns went to the Super Bowl and lost, and Deshaun Watson got suspended for a year. They get all the eyes tuning in. You get all the hate watching. Ratings will go skyrocket. Then they get to look good by putting them in his place.
Our life?
I'm still kind of 6 games wasn't a lot. I thought it was more gonna be like half of the season, roundabout. From what I got an explanation this morning was that it was only 6 games because Sue Robinson saw it as non-violent crimes, I guess. So that's why it was only that. But it also, I believe the Players Association is going to appeal. If it goes more than 6 games, we're going to likely it will. Under this appeal, they're going to appeal again. So it's just like, it just seems like it's going to be a never-ending thing, at least for now. So I'm just really kind of just sit back and waiting before I have my, I guess, definitive opinion on it. I think it's just still so much more that has to be done.
So first off, I thought the judge was a black woman for some reason. So I Googled it. I thought his name was like Sue Lin. For some reason, I was thinking of a brown person. And when maybe Googled it is when they announced the brother. And I was like, wait, back to back black vert. Like, why we gotta be the ones to? I'm like, oh, okay. Now Google it. Oh, she's white. Oh, okay. Two things, both rooted in white supremacy, of course, but how we view punishment, and then there's just the plantation situation. The how we view punishment is like, I get that 6 is too few if you view it as 6 is too few, but the reality is he didn't play last year because of this. Like, it isn't like he didn't play last year because he went on vacation or a sabbatical. He already didn't play a whole season because of the situation. But because of the timing in which we're applying the punishment, it looks too few. I'm like, true. If we found out last week he did all this heinous stuff, and we're like, yo, 6 games from this point forward, it's like, right. But there was also last season. And I get, again, I understand the fact that whatever is why he wasn't playing. So it's not like he was playing and going through whatever. It's like, yeah, he wasn't playing because of this. So yeah, what's the punishment? Well, that should be taken into account at some point, like some degree of it's worth 25% of time. I don't know, but like to completely ignore the past 12 months and go 6 weeks into the so there's that. I won't fight or argue. I'll just let it exist. It's just my opinion of it, or just how I'm looking at it. I'm not saying whatever it shakes out. But when you bring in the Miami stuff, I was getting upset. And then I think you said something like, I just don't get it. Like, oh, okay. That's just the same old shit. It's like, yeah, of course. The mafia goes in the boardroom and they yell at each other. Like, don't fucking do that. You can't cross that line. Da-da-da-da. Don't let it happen again. All right, who brought the cigars? Us, let's act as if this is the first moment of punishment and move forward. What? You don't think that was a big punishment with the owner?
So no. So what I'm saying is, like, there is a line in the mafia that nobody could do some shit. And there's no line in the NFL that you really like. Unless you're already on the way out, which was Jerry Richardson was, everybody else pretty much, there is no line. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are some things in the mafia that, quote unquote, you just can't do. Doesn't matter.
There is a line. There is a line. Don't get that shit out here in the public. That's the line.
Daniel Snyder.
What?
Their shit is in the public.
No. We're talking about the shit that he was doing, the tanking shit. Like, don't let the card game be revealed. Like, don't let. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
And then the other thing, just to give you some context about like why last year for some people doesn't count, because one, he was getting paid, and two, he decided not to play. He never forced the issue, in part because forcing the issue then would have gotten him suspended more than it does now.
It's still an act of sacrifice. I'm not out here playing because of the situation. When you say monetary things, that's how you would like to punish someone. I'm saying him not playing was because of this. It's not like it wasn't because of this. So either we're saying it was the smart thing for him to do, showing how he understands the burden of the situation by not forcing me to play, because like you said, so I'm going to remove myself from the situation. I understand there's some shit going on. That doesn't account.
Yeah, but that doesn't count as your punishment because you still got paid.
I get it. I get it. That's how people think. So I just say I think different. That's all I'm saying. I agree. The norm is that, like, okay, if you remove yourself from a situation, that gives you some grace.
So you're okay with cops being have paid leave when they shoot black people and they go through the investigation.
That's what I'm saying. Huh? That's what I'm saying. We have to, because that's the situation.
But pay leave isn't a punishment. You just don't come to work, but you get paid. That's what we all want.
Right. We all want that. We don't want that. We all want it to be better, right? But what's the current situation? And I'm saying in the current situation where he wasn't forcibly suspended, he said, I just won't play. That was his best play. Unless you want to say, don't take the money.
But But what I'm saying is that wouldn't count as a suspension. Like we wouldn't count that as punishment in any other situation.
I agree. I'm saying I understand it. We're not viewing it. I said I'm not confused. I'm saying I'm viewing it differently. I am intentionally viewing this differently.
And that's what I'm asking you. If it was cops, would
No,
you
it's
be
cops
saying
killing
the
people.
same thing?
That's cops killing people. We're talking two different things.
Okay, not killing people. They go too far. They rough up somebody. That's not killing them.
No, then go to training. Go to training. Address why you roughed up. That's different scenarios. Let's not do murder. Let's not do murder.
Okay, all right. I took murder off the table. That's fine. But in whatever thing that you apply applicable, would you be okay with paid leave?
Yeah, paid leave. Go get the shit right. I'm saying if you like push the child aggressively, hey, take a fucking week off, motherfucker. Go talk that shit out. Yes.
Okay.
That's a reasonable if you push the child. Now, if you fucking run a car over with the kids on the bike intentionally, no. If you murder someone, no. But if you get fucking outrageous and push a child too hard, hey, brother, take a day off. Apparently, too many double times, my nigga. Relax. Go beat your meat. Do something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking Titan, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. But no, all I'm saying is if he had played the entire season and then had 6 games, like, yo, what the fuck? We're going to act like he wasn't playing the whole year? Like, that's still something, right? Whether he did it voluntarily, yes, he likely did it for this outcome. Recognize the fact that I removed myself from football for a year. I only answer questions people ask in my face. I didn't go over gallivanting and adding more during the last 12 months, I hope. But what I'm saying, like, he removed himself for it. All I'm saying, this will credit and to rule yourself from a situation, whether you feel yourself as at fault or you want to resolve. And yes, you probably did that, so hopefully you might get 6 to 8 games versus these crackers waiting for the outpour and the outcry. And like, oh, these niggas really mad. All right. Bringing it, like, it's all a game, as I'm saying. Like, it's all a game. You try to play the best hand. And as always in America, this shit ain't work. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Football's being started. The Hall of Fame game happened. Or is happening. Nobody really played.
Before we move on to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they doing some, like I said, they gonna win regardless. They're doing some sick stuff. They start off with a white woman, and then now they got a brother looking it over. Is that right?
That's what I was. That's what we Googled it. I was like, wait, a brother?
They pulling the gender card. They pulling the race card.
They're not touching that shit.
Man,
it ain't gonna be no white man. The white man's gonna say, "Oh, okay, I guess." Like, all they had to do was say, "Yeah, 6 games plus he didn't play the whole fucking last year. Let's go with the fucking football." But they're not gonna do that. They got no balls. They only worry about green. So like, oh, them niggas is mad. All right, who else gonna?
But that's why they're actually in a lose situation, because what is the actual outcome for something like this? Like, is it really 6 games? Is that what we're saying? That 6 games is okay for the stuff that he did?
So don't go by my word. This is Ryan Clark's word. What I'm saying, the reason why they can do this, because most folks didn't even read the report or whatever she typed up. Not based on my opinion. Ryan Clark, who's in the game, he said, no. All he said was, he might have disagreed, but he said, based on her reasoning, was I'm only using the same rationale that has been precedent in the NFL. So she didn't do anything out of bounds. She's like, based on what this was and how it's done in the past, this is roughly the right spot.
Based on what they collectively bargained and what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
6 games.
You know, based on all the evidence, this is about what y'all do. But because he thinks like,
he said y'all can't punish him more.
Yeah.
Just because you want to.
Yeah. Especially when the outcry is based on folks who didn't read the report, which he lays out the logic, and then they're not going to consider the 12 months. Again, I'm not saying it's an angel. I ain't saying this.
Okay, but I actually read the report and read most of the report, and so like there are some things that actually don't make sense, and I could pull other people that said other things, because like if you have 5 women that she agreed that there was a pattern of behavior by him, how are you gonna argue that's not sexually violent? How you gonna say that's non-violent? He put them in a position where they didn't feel comfortable, they didn't feel safe. So some people could argue that is violent, and thus you saying it non-violent thus limits how much you could give them, because if she made a determination that it was violent, it is more than 6 games, period. And some and
Nonviolent
then that's when we
sexual
get into
assault.
the uncomfortable conversation of how is sexually assault defined as violence or not violent? Is any sexual assault or anything in that matter considered violence? Or is it has to be forcible?
I'm not getting all that. All I'm saying is, if the last time you played a game was whenever, and you add on this time, if you said, because this is a judgment in the football, it's not like this is the civil case, or anything. This is how football regulates. And your punishment is you can't play the sport, whether you get paid or not. You just can't play the sport. And the totality of games he will not have played at this currently is 23. If I were to say, yeah, for that infraction, everything you said, interpret it whatever direction, he can't play 23 games, you're like, all right, sounds reasonable. But when we just say 6 and ignore the previous 17, I'm like, all I'm saying is add to it. You can percentage it, base it, but let's not act like that wasn't done. And it wasn't done also for this outcome. Like, it was done for this.
Right. So we giving them credit for being sleazy, for figuring out a sleazy way to do it. Like when it's done to us,
industry, bro. It's a sleazy
but when it's done
industry.
to us, we have an outcry. Oh man, fuck that. They should have did that. That was but now that he did it, oh well, that we should add those guys. No, that shit was a sleazy move. He chose not to play so he could get paid. He chose not to play so he could get paid. He structured his contract so that even if he got suspended a year, he would only lose $1 million. Yeah, cool. Smart businessman.
Yes.
Sleazy in terms of what you're being accused
of.
If
the sacrifice is I'm not playing football, how is it sleazy? I'm making the best outcome so when I don't play football, financially, I'm not fucked up. Because the punishment is not playing football.
Then if they
give you a year, take the year.
Then if they take the year, then take the year.
Alphonse, then they're double dipping. Because in the civil court, he has to settle with all these people, right?
Costs money.
No, he doesn't have to settle. You could go to court and try to beat the case.
His strategy, based on his strategy of settling with all but one of them. So if I'm doing that, if I'm settling, whatever the dispute is between her or that person, we're settling on this.
Why do you have 24 cases to settle? Like, we can't ignore that. They're not in a court of law. They have a personal conduct.
How many games you want to
personal conduct?
How many games you want to suspend for?
A year.
Okay. He's already
not paid.
Not played for a year.
A year non-paid. He got paid over $20 million. Like, what do you mean? Just sitting out the games?
Non-paid.
He got to
pay the settlement.
Bro, that's the price of doing business. If you did not put yourself in this situation, you wouldn't have 24 cases.
Alphonse, you're just arguing the degree of punishment. I get that. And I'm saying degrees kind of met with 6 games plus the year. To me, because I'm considering the last 12 years. 12 months.
And what I'm saying is, what did he lose? The ability to play on a bad team?
Huh?
In terms of football, he didn't lose anything. He got paid, which allowed him to pay to settle those cases. He didn't lose a year paying behind a bad Texans team. He actually came out pretty great in this.
I'm not disputing at all. Like, I'm not arguing his strategy.
So then if you agree with that, if you're not disputing that he came out pretty great, then how can you say that he served time? He didn't serve any time. That was vacation.
Because no matter what happens, he came out great. If he's not serving jail time and he's only going to lose a contract that's low, no matter what I'm saying, what you're saying is playing out. Yes. Even with your play out of a whole year with no pay, it played out in his favor. That's the extreme version of his hand.
But it sounds like you're defending it.
I'm defending the play. It's still the play, Alphonse. Whether he gets suspended for a whole year, don't get paid. He ain't losing millions, and you only lose a year, and don't do jail time. Whatever it is, it's still the best play because he's not doing jail time.
You're saying, but what I'm getting from you is that it should just be 6 games, and that should be it, and we should just move on.
I'm saying, all this plus the 6 games theatrics, bro. All this is extra. If the world was like 6 games was cool, it would have been cool. But they're not gonna stay on their square. Oh shit, these niggas are scared. They might not show up. They might boycott the first week. Get a nigga in here to give him more time. That's what I'm saying. Because they're not gonna sit on their shit. I'm not mad at the brothers or the brothers. I'm saying this is all a fucked up game. They're only doing this because America's not with enough time. Give a nigga more time.
Okay, good. That's a good thing. That America is mad that these women are now not getting their just due.
You know why
And you're
America's
like,
staying
nah,
more time, Alphonse? It's because they didn't read the report. True
you
or
keep
false?
saying
Is it?
America. I'm feeling this way, and I read the report. They only put up five. They only put up five.
You
They only
don't
got to
credit the
talk to
last 12
four.
months also, though, right?
Huh?
You don't credit the last 12 months also, correct?
Correct.
So that
Yeah, I
makes
don't
sense how you
credit.
stand. That makes sense how you stand. I'm not arguing with you about your stance. I get it. I said my thing is based on giving credit for the last 12 months. Because it's the same hand. It's still the same strategy. Maybe if I do this, I only get 16. Didn't play out. Or the worst case is this built-in contract, I'll lose less money. It's all the same hand. And what I'm saying, they escalated because of outside pressure. And yet, somebody could fucking take a fucking franchise and it goes, oh, it wasn't serious. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to get upset that much about this when I have that in the same fucking week. Intentionally done so. So now you got the bookends of he's only getting 6 games. Right. By the way, Steve Ross is some fucked up shit. Hey, we got a black man to give him more time.
And I'm saying instead of saying or, we should be saying both. That's what I'm saying.
We're
It
binary
should.
people, bro. We're binary people. That's why he did it this way. Because we're not going to talk about Stephen Ross like we should.
Why? Why can't
Or
we?
as
Why
we
can't
should.
we? Why do we have to feed into the
You know the
we can
we is
only
not
talk
the
about
we is
one
not
thing?
we. Well, you know what I mean. I'm talking about ESPN. I'm not going to ESPN and seeing Stephen Ross' face. I'm seeing how much time the brother's going to get. And Brittany Griner. And that's just from the sideline. So maybe I'm wrong, but
All right.
Lou, what you got, bro? You like you wanted to say something the whole time. My bad. Yeah. I thought
No,
you
no,
like your
I'm
face.
I'm just sitting back and taking it all in. I didn't want to. My only thing, I guess, what I would have spoken, but we weren't discussing the merits of the type, how we gonna describe his crimes, as whether it was non-violent. I meant violent or non-violent. I didn't necessarily see it as violent. I saw more of it predatory, so that could kind of be in the same lane as violent, but that's not what we're discussing. So,
Oh no, it was definitely intimidation of some sort, right? There was a power struggle. Well, not struggle, it was a power imbalance that he had guard. And like, sorry, Alphonse, real quick, especially when it's been supported by one of your franchises. Like we're not even having that discussion of they knew the shit. We're not even having that discussion of like, and I'm supposed to be really upset about this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't. I respect it. What I'm saying is the source of the matter we're not going to talk about at all.
So again, I'm saying let's talk about all that shit. Suppressing it doesn't allow any of that to happen. Right? That's what I'm saying. Because because if this keeps going, they played their this is what I said. They're in a lose-lose situation. So I'm want the train wreck to happen. Because as you said, if they give them a year, people are going to bring up those things that you said. We've been talking about it for 20 minutes, and you've already remembered that, and you on the sideline. People who have a vested interest are going to remember those things, and they're going to have to answer those.
I'll grant you remembering. I grant you remembering. But when it was announced they actually paid and was covering it the whole time, it only lasted half a day. And what I'm saying by them, wait. What I'm saying by this new part of how many more lashes we're gonna give them, we're not going to talk about the fact that the Houston Texans knew this the whole time. We're never going to get there. We're never going to get there because they'll still be the Houston Texans. They're still going to have a kicker. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Wrong, right? Yeah. We're ignoring another fucked up issue, and it's like it's the degree of it. Like, it's one thing we were talking about it, and like maybe it's a PBS news hour topic. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that type of shit. No, it's not giving no coverage of them paying for everything he was doing, knowing he was doing it. It's sort of like with crack. I'll stop there, but you don't tell me you don't know what. Like if somebody said it was a joke. Somebody said like you know what it was, who cultivated, who packed it up, who shipped it, who got it across the border, who put it on the block, who rocked it up, and then once we exchange it, now I get arrested for it. Okay, yeah, the dealer, definitely wrong. Who put the shit in the cargo plane? Who flew it over here? Who dispersed it? The Houston Texans.
I would definitely not compare that in that same way.
It's the same structure. We do it. You do it all the time in
It's
math.
not the same. It's not the same shit. It's not the
It's not
same
the same
shit.
structure.
One, no, because one is
Structure. Go ahead.
no, it's not the same structure because he was finding these people. They provided the rooms, but he was going to find them. The Texans
They
weren't be like,
provided a room. Alphonse, just by the fact that you can say they provided a room, don't we have to stop there?
no, because it's not the same thing. And your thing, they came to him like, here, go do this. No, that's not. Yeah, that's
No,
not what you're saying.
No one in the CIA came to a person on the street corner and said, "Hey, you should sell crack." That's exactly what I'm saying. You just lay the foundation, just lay the setting out for them. Your options are your options. It's the same structure.
No, because he don't got no other options. Those were his options. That's what I'm saying. That's where it
Brother,
falls
we
apart.
went to Howard. We could have obviously done another thing too. Quickly. We all from the inner city. What were we saying? Am I out of line?
We were the people they were targeting. We were the people they were targeting. We were the people they were targeting with crack. They laid the foundation. Our families. No.
Alphonse. It's your
You
family that
said
made you
us.
survive it.
You said
I'm
us.
saying, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Us. It's your family that made you survive it. Yes. The structure of your family allowed you to withstand it. But if you're going to ask me, were they not talking to black men in DC? Yes. Can you get them all?
Okay.
No. Am I out of line?
Okay.
I'll stop if I'm out of line.
I'll let them answer.
That's the way I look at it. It's just the structure of the same system. You're on mute, Luke.
I definitely get the point that you're making. Of they what's the word I'm looking for? You say structure. They made the environment easier for him to do what it is that he did. In the same vein of the government, the powers that be. No, they didn't put this person with that person, but they allowed this substance to come in, just like they allowed these situations to be able to take place. So yeah, I can definitely see the point that you're making as far as the comparison.
And also, last part to that, and they're aware of it. Like that's only like they're aware of it. It's not like they don't know. Like they set the plate. That's why you set the plate, you walk away, and let it go. Hey, what happened? But if I'm watching it,
that's more than awareness. They were a willing party.
Complicity.
They said, "Hey, go ahead, do your thing."
Come on. But when you want to get off this plantation, by all means, deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he wanted to get off the plantation. Only because of that.
Yeah, you want to get off.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't just because he wanted to get off the plantation.
Right?
It was it's because listen. He wanted to get off the plantation after signing a big deal.
I'm not. Wait, that's not my vitriol. That's not my vitriol.
But come on, man. You setting the stage as if it was like, oh, you want to leave out of here and we're not going to let you leave. No, had he said that 6 months earlier, he probably leaves and no fanfare and nothing happens. Okay. They gave him the big deal and then he wanted out. That's when all of this leaked.
Okay, can I say something? Can I say something again one time? Okay, can we sit in that option? Can we sit in that situation? Because that situation is similar to what we're talking about right now. And I'll explain why I'm saying that. If he would have left, you're saying it would have been peaceful. I'm saying I disagree with that statement. I think he knew if he would have left, it would have unveiled everything because he knew they knew. What he did was get the big contract. Then I want to leave because then I have access to defend whatever you're going to have coming, if that's the case. But at least I have secured the bag. Same situation with, I'm going to play my best hand. I'm going to walk away from this shit. Hopefully give me a smaller sentence. But
I'm saying if this motherfucker is that conniving to think all those moves ahead, then how are you defending any of his actions as something that is honorable and should not be and should be like, oh, well, he gets paid.
For the record, when did I say it on this program at all? Seriously. When have I ever said that? That I defend his actions.
I literally asked you that word for word. I said, it sounds like you're saying you're okay with the 6 games.
From a business standpoint or moral, because you were going more moral. From a business standpoint, you're playing your best hand with the situation. From moral standpoint.
Moral. All of this is about the moral thing. But all of this is about the moral thing.
That's the point. It's not about the moral. It's about business. It's all about business.
I'm talking about our discussion about is about the morals. Of course, we know that the business is going to play out. But the whole reason they're here is because of business. You just said they bow
Yes.
to the public pressure. The public pressure cares
Business.
nothing about the business. The
Alphonse, what are
public
we
pressure cares
Alphonse?
nothing.
Alphonse, the public
So
pressure
the
is the
public,
business. Alphonse, if they say they're going to boycott the game one because the money, because the punishment too light, that's going to
why are
affect
they
the money.
boycotting the game? I didn't say
Huh?
what is going to affect. I said the people who are driving this are moved by the moral aspect of it, not the business aspect of it. So us talking
Correct.
about it is from the
Correct,
moral
Alphonse.
aspect of it.
Correct,
Whoa, whoa,
Alphonse.
whoa,
And if
whoa,
they
whoa,
had said
whoa, whoa.
16-game suspension,
When they heard that 230 million, people went off. When they heard about him getting that new contract, they went off. They really hated it. Hold on. How is he getting rewarded for his behavior? So the business had a lot to do with it.
A lot to do with it.
a lot to do with it.
Okay.
Yeah. If he'd have got 12 games and everybody's like cool with it, let's play ball. Because there's no public pressure. Because of public pressure, like,
And if they
Then they
got
can get more
12 games,
time.
what would that have said about the people, how they felt about it morally?
I don't know. The second part's most, whatever the number was, if it had fit the rhythm of this of the nation, cool. The fact it was
Morally
it
or
didn't-
businessly?
business, it's all business. It's all
Okay.
business. It's the NFL.
Okay.
How's it not all
The moral
business?
aspect leads to the business. I'm like,
Right.
the moral outrage. So like, yeah, okay, so then we're gonna make it
Okay,
hurt. We can wait. The only way that it can make it hurt. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still business. It has to be. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm disputing. You just said what I was getting at. The moral leads to the business. So if we're discussing the outrage, we're discussing the moral outrage.
Right. And I said it.
So when I ask you what are you defending, then I'm talking about the moral aspect of it, because we all know the business aspect. It was how they did the appeal.
But I said I dig the moral aspect. I get it. I get why you're upset about 6 games. You look at it from a moral standpoint. I'm looking from the business standpoint because it's a business. From a business, it's a punk ass move. Because they knew this. Stand on it.
And what I'm saying is the moral aspect moved them businessly. So
Agreed.
that's what we're discussing, not the business part of it. Why we're not talking about the business part of it? Like, they're only here because of the moral part of it. The moral outrage of the fans is why they appealed. You just said they gave him 10 or 12, and that was the fans were okay with that morally, we wouldn't be here, contract and all.
Right.
So why are we talking about the business part? Why would we focus
all
on that when
business.
it's driven by the moral part of it?
I disagree at that point. That's fine.
Okay. The moral part of the fans got the NFL to move.
The moral part, he wouldn't be playing. He'll be removed from the league if 24 women say he was improper. If we talking about morals, he's not playing anymore.
And they kind of go hand in hand. I don't think
The
it's
more
just
of the
moral.
fans. If the more of the fans felt that, if the fans really felt that, then he wouldn't be playing.
Right.
But even if they feel like that, if they don't move on the business side, NFL wouldn't care. It'd just be business as usual. If you're not gonna hurt our pockets, we don't give a fuck if you mad. Like, be mad.
Exactly.
If you still come to the game, all right.
Yeah.
Because business is gonna always be business. Like, the games are gonna go on. Like, and hopefully you're here spending your money with us, like, regardless if you're mad or not. So I mean, I get what you're saying, Fonzie. It starts morally, but at the end of the day, it comes down to dollars and cents. Because if you're not going to hurt our pockets, we really don't care if you're mad.
Exactly.
If you look at the 4 teams that was trying to sign him before that, as soon as they announced that they gave him $230 million guaranteed, women were added to the lawsuit after that. And like you hear people saying, like, they were disgusted once they heard that he got $230 million guaranteed. Why is he the highest paid quarterback ever with guaranteed money and stuff like that? You heard it with Vic when he came back to the league, got his second $100 million contract. Come on, he don't deserve to be in the league, and being in the NFL is a privilege, and they always go to the business. So like Lou said, it's hand in hand. Like, you basically can't separate the two.
I just, and I don't know, maybe I'm just not, I may be tone deaf to it, but I don't really hear the outrage. Honestly, maybe my outlets aren't as loud as everybody else, but I feel like there was more outrage for Vic, for everybody. Vic, Ray Rice, what was the guy that from Carolina to Dallas, the defensive end?
Yeah,
I can't remember his name right now. That threw his lady on the
wide receiver.
Who they talking
Caldwell?
about? He's MMA. No, he's an MMA fighter now.
Hardy, Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
Greg
I just feel there was more. Like with this, it's kind of like it's not the vitriol to Deshaun Watson isn't as much. And I think last year, him sitting out the whole year last year plays a part in that. I think it's kind of been dulled from him not playing last year. Which kind of speaks to, I mean, that kind of speaks on both sides of the argument. He did take it off and it was strategic on his part. I think it's very strategic. I think this whole thing has been extremely strategic. And it's just, I think, I don't know, because then this may sound insensitive. I think people are trying to drum up their outrage. I don't really think it's that much. I don't think people are that mad, honestly. What'd you say?
What'd you say, Jack?
I didn't see.
Outrage.
You still, I don't know if that's just me.
It's not
I
just
say you do have some fake outrage. People are like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to use that term, but it just
no,
seemed,
because they're being selective with it. Like just like with Michael Vick, like he actually, he didn't go to jail for killing dogs. He went to jail for a gambling ring, but everybody just focused on the dogs the whole time. So meanwhile, Leonard Litter got drunk, killed a lady, no outrage. Went to jail for 90 days, just came back and started collecting checks again. No outrage. He actually killed a person. I don't understand.
It was on the public. It was on the public outcry. And
I
was
could see
surprised.
themselves doing the same. People could see themselves. You know what? I've gotten DUIs before. I might kill somebody. I can understand how he did that.
even like Henry, not Henry Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs.
I didn't want to go Henry Ruggs. I'm thinking more Calvin Ridley.
You talking about the safety? Oh,
No,
Calvin Ridley's been
Just had a $1,500 bet.
Yeah, it was Calvin Ridley. That wasn't Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley.
It's Calvin Ridley.
With the gambling?
Yeah,
that was Calvin Ridley.
I'm sorry. Okay, but yeah, it's just like he's mad about it, but it's just well, I got a whole year. He only got 6 games with this and that. But
you need more man Steven Ross.
It's different levels to the shit when it comes to sports. I'm sorry, like it's yeah. If we're gonna be mad, let's be. I don't know. It's like that's what I'm saying. I still want like a definitive outcome, and then I'll be able to develop a more solid opinion of it. But yeah, 6 games. In all honesty, and maybe this for being a brother, like, well, yeah, shit, he only got 6 games. Like, shit, I take them 6 games and back to work. But then that's kind of insensitive to the women that are involved, and to just women in general. It's just, but yeah,
It is.
Because no matter what, I mean, if we want to be mad, then we could be mad at the Browns too, because like they knew something was coming. So you only got $1 million contract, but we give you all this money.
Be mad at the 12 other teams that pursued him as well.
It
knew about the
comes back down
It's
to
the whole system.
it's business as usual.
It's business, man.
He chose the Browns. That's why that's why everybody mad at the Browns, because he chose Cleveland. And to hear somebody, I heard, I can't remember who that was. Who was that writer that said, "I'm glad he didn't sign with the Falcons so I could keep rooting for my team"? Hey, dummy, they wanted him. They were willing to sign him. They were going to hand him the keys. What do you mean?
Yeah, but they weren't going to do.
Me.
They weren't going to do what the Browns did, which is why he chose the Browns. They weren't going to
So
offset his
too far.
entire year's salary
Yes.
for a year. They weren't going to guarantee $235 million for whatever reason. So like, all right.
It's a very shrewd move by the Browns.
If I'm going to prison, I'm gonna set shit up. Okay, Alpha.
But if you know
you could
you're
be
going to
bad, but you
prison
can't be that bad.
beforehand, then that means you are guilty. And so now you're like, okay, well, shit. If he's guilty, he's admitting he's guilty.
Again, we can't keep running lines, bro.
That is
He's
true.
guilty. We
They
know
did
he's
have
guilty because he
remorse.
got 6 games. If he wasn't guilty, he would fight the 6 games. I'm not
He
arguing
wanted
guilt.
to. He wanted to.
But did he?
Was it in his best interest to fight the 6 games?
No.
Exactly. He was preparing
Because
to
it was
fight.
6 games.
But
Preparing to fight the 6
okay.
games?
No, here's what I'm saying.
They were ready to, and then they was like, he still showed no remorse. I didn't like, all right. Like on one hand, you're saying, oh, he's making moves like he's guilty. Yeah, give me my money because I'm gonna be suspended for a year. Because why would you assume that if you're not guilty?
I don't think it was. I think it's contingency plans. Honestly, like if it come down to it, well, I still want to get paid. Fuck that, and I'm still under contract. But okay, so I had a class.
And he still has to pay the legal fees, and he still has to pay the settlements.
He's not seeing, whatever after taxes, that money, and then it's Italian. He still got to pay these women. I mean, it was very strategic. And we could see it and we could be mad about it. But like I had a class, I can't remember, it was some IT class, but it was a school business class. Professor Johnny Jackson came up. The first thing he said, first day of class, I want everybody to know, there are no ethics in business. That was the lecture for the day. There are zero ethics in business. It was just like, yes, because we're here to make money. And at the bottom line, we don't give a fuck as long as we're in the black. If we're not in the red, like, it is what it is. And in this capitalist society, and we could be mad about it. Again, there is no ethics. There are no morals at the end of the day.
Niggas we pick million tons of cotton. Like tons of.
I mean, but
to your point,
your defense, I do recall a signature in your emails from years ago, be the change that you want to see in the world. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you're fighting a good fight, good brother. But I mean, when we say it's an uphill battle, we talk about Mount Everest. Like,
so it's to the point where, like, we saw the post earlier where Amazon is paying for people to go to Morgan State. So instead of me being like, wow, this is amazing, I'm like, what's the catch? Come on, like, what's going on here? Like,
bro, here's how fucked up it is.
Why they being so nice?
Whoever created that meme can create a meme joking about a rapist, joking about Watson. Whether it really happened, like the fact they could sit there and construct that a joke representing someone who got little to no punishment for his actions, judging someone in that same situation. The fact that it exists as a thought and a concept is outrageous. If I'm out of pocket, I'm out of pocket, and I'll go back on the sideline. But
you're not. It's just, I mean, I don't have any more energy to fight uphill today because I would say, like, why do we have to accept that? But
we don't.
We do, because we just spent 20 minutes talking about that.
Doors with Congress.
Like, so.
And they destroyed all. Robert Kraft.
We don't what we do, is what I'm saying. Like, we don't, but in this current position we in with our hands behind our back and ain't got but one foot and the other one got a bad ankle. Like, all right, fine. The whole season, 8 million, all right, cool. Can I give it? All right. It's fucked up. Nigga, like, we speaking their language. Sorry, this is supposed to be a sports show.
But had it gone to trial, it went to trial. And if the young lady wasn't as promiscuous as she was, Kobe Bryant would have probably been under the jail because he did force himself. And you talk about getting off with a slap on the wrist. He paid $5 million for a ring for his wife. That was the most punitive damages that he had to deal with. So it's just, we pick and choose, and why Kobe Bryant got off the way that he did? Because he was good for business. I mean, he's going to trial and then the same day going to play basketball in the playoffs for the Los Angeles Lakers. So it's just.
Now I will say this: that happens in 2020 or any time that it's a totally different situation.
Also, again, if it happens in 2022, he's not raping some. Oh, that's the wrong word. He's not getting himself in that situation because he's aware. I don't think Kobe, like, it's also age and time. Age, understand. Alphonse, you think? Wait, because you're saying 2022. I'm not saying 2022. You're saying this year.
No. I'm saying that we can't make that statement because there are plenty of old people that people become more aware. And because there are plenty of people in this time still doing it, and they are very aware that there are cameras, camera phones, and all different things.
All I'm saying is Kobe wouldn't be one of those people. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Kobe would be those. I don't say Kobe wouldn't be caught up in that conversation.
We hope, and I love Kobe. We hope.
Okay. Wait, you talking about the same age or as he grew?
All I'm saying is, the counter to that argument is Kobe was old enough to see Mike Tyson. So to say he's unaware of what could happen in those situations is false because he was old enough to live through and see what happened to Mike Tyson.
Wait, hold on. Maybe you didn't understand what happened.
I think he was old enough to witness. Look at when he came in the league. Look at the team he played for. That man witnessed a lot of stuff that was probably a lot worse than what he did.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like,
nothing happened.
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing any of that. Dre said he would just be more aware. And I'm saying you can't actually make that statement because someone could make the argument he should have been aware in that time frame that he was in already.
My statement was based off how old he was. I thought you meant if he was the age that he would progress to. That's what I'm saying.
45.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about like.
Yeah, that's why I asked like how old he is. Okay. How old is he at the time? If he grew up in the gang on the fucking internet age, and yeah, maybe. But
yeah. No. Yeah. So transitioning into basketball, we had some movement in the Brittany Griner case, or I guess you could call it that. But basically they had a decision. She was found guilty. He sentenced to 9 years. And so I saw a lot of different places, a lot of different people. Some like news outlets, but some like people affiliated with the U.S. military and interrogations. That's like, I mean, this was just a formality, and this is actually like, this needed to happen for negotiations. And in some ways, the 9 years is, I mean, it's a lot of different things at play, which like, on one hand, I know I definitely want to keep seeing the support, but like, if the support is making Putin and Russia like ask for more, then like, I'm like, what if all their teammates just like did something a little bit more private and sent it to her or something? Because if all this public outrage is making Putin be like, oh, okay, cool, that's what everybody's saying. Now we want two people. Now we want two of our war criminals that y'all got, or one that you got and one that Germany got. You need to get him back for us too.
Can I say something?
Okay.
So I'm trying to follow you because like your opening line is that it sets the table, right? It sets the negotiation table, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you shift from a perspective of if that's my first move or my counter move, whatever. But my energy is of now I want two pieces, right? So here's all I'm saying is that if that's the first move, maybe we should give credit to maybe she had to be charged that much because then it could look up here that because it's all about trade value, right? If you hit it with a 1 year joint, she ain't worth. She's 1 year for which is not. Anyway, let me get to my point. If you hit it with 1 year for vaping, but in exchange, you want a motherfucker who's knocking out shit. You might want to get a motherfucker 9.5. So when we do the exchange rate, it's a little clear. So I'm saying if I'm working with that energy, I don't know why you go put it on that nigga gonna want more bodies. Like he not, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're opening line,
the public part, because now he see, oh, yo,
I'm listening.
that's just now he see, oh,
Biden got it. Biden got it. He not talking to us.
No. Let me finish. He
we
not
are
talking
peasants,
to us.
Alphonse.
He's
Nigga, we are
worried about
outlaws.
the
We
fake
are.
outrage in Russia. I think that's what he's more worried about Russian public opinion. Than he give a fuck about.
If he'd have gave him 1 year, they're like, yo, what the fuck?
So hold up.
Well,
So hold up. I don't
first off,
think
we don't
he.
know. We
I don't
know.
think he's. I don't think he's worried about Russian public opinion because all those Russian billionaires that own those basketball teams, they about to take a hit if you don't play this right.
Oh,
Right.
that's why it has to go down. She's coming home. I mean,
Right. So to your point, though, he can only do so much because all of them who got Sue Bird and all them other players that go play in Russia, if they like, to your point earlier in the production meeting, Dre, decide like, hey, WNBA, yo, let's
You can't
work
put it
on
on
the
them.
rest.
They got enough money. You gotta do like
Okay, but
you paying the
I know,
Good.
whatever. The NBA helps out, whatever. But if they do that and say we don't need to go to Russia no more, those Russian teams will take a hit.
Okay, I got a different view. We focus on the basketball. These niggas ain't talking about us. This is strategic Ukrainian dumb world. Like this ain't really like we doing different. They got different math. All I'm saying is 9.5 was to give us some weight as a criminal. So when you do the exchange rate, it washes out with the money.
Right. I get
all
all
I'm
of. I get
You
what
can't
you're
give a 1
saying. I'm
year
not
time serve
disputing.
and they
I
put the motherfucker
understand
nigga who
that.
know where all the guns are.
What I'm saying is the public internet pressure. He can get on the internet too. He can get his lackeys to pull
He
up
make
this
the
shit.
internet. He make us feel this way. What you talking about? He the one control our fucking responses. He the one is why the price went up. What I'm saying is this. Y'all be talking NBA trades, I be getting lost. This is an NBA trade, bro. Contracts ain't matching. 9.5. Gotta be now. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna do the maximum.
Oh, I get you.
But we got you the upper limit.
For the maximum amount, just because,
The exchange.
for the optics. That's all.
Yeah. Because then you give
understand.
it 1 year. You're like, well, why you keeping that long for this dumbass 1 year shit? Oh no, this is great. This is serious shit. How serious?
No.
Not quite max.
To the fullest.
Damn near close.
Oh, I mean, to the fullest.
I mean,
And it's all this. It's all this is. We got your player 9.5, and everybody gets spooked because he did this. Long as they don't hit that button. Just don't hit that button, brother. Just don't hit that motherfucking button. Because the Africans need time to regroup so we can heal this shit. Sorry. Don't hit the button. Please hit the button. Yeah.
It comes
Anyway.
sensitive, Lou. She picked the wrong time to get caught up in this shit. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, and like the whole time, I'm like, she did what she did. And I bring her home with American citizen, black woman, quote unquote American, so-called American citizen, right? Black woman, like
America with no citizenship.
like, but like you committed a crime, a Russian crime, being as it is, but it's like you don't have to sit there. I mean, you're gonna have to play the game for a second. For a second, the game is going to have to be played, and everybody bring the I really don't like using the term, but the fake outrage. Bring Brittany home, and yeah, we wanted to go home, but she did something wrong, so she has to play locked up abroad. I mean, like that's the name of the show that was on. Like,
it's locked up abroad, or there's a smuggling show.
It is what it is. Like it is. All efforts are going to be exhausted to bring her home, but the game still hasn't played. It's still politics with a country that's at war with an ally for this country. It's just bad. We have to give some of the blame has to be shifted. I'm not shifted, but Britain has to assume some of the blame for what she did. Now, whether she's getting like again to the fullest extent of the law, it is what it is, and it's maybe not necessary, but politics and diplomacy. I mean, it's like the game has.
And she's done this hundreds of times in the past, and nothing's happened. Like
she was leaving.
That's kind of hard.
That's my thing. Like you leaving. Ain't like she bringing the shit in.
Leaving, or she was coming in.
Bro, she was leaving.
It was over. I
They had to
believe.
come at the season.
Yeah, because she was coming back to play.
That's my thing. She was like, throw that shit in the trash. Get on the plane. It was like, whoa. Ukraine.
You know, I saw something it was comparable with the Iman Shumpert thing. You got caught bringing weed to California. It's just like, bruh.
Yeah, that I was like, I didn't get that.
You could have put that shit in the mail. That shit could have met you in California. Like you get it, but not to change the subject. It's just like if you're gonna do some illegal shit, you gotta do it smart. Like what Jesus say, you can do whatever you want. Just don't get caught. Like
so to your point, I think that's a conversation that like is had once she gets back home.
It's all, yeah.
I think that's one of those like, you know, when you was a
What conversation? Ain't no conversation. Lesson learned. Who she got to talk to about her next moves after this shit? I ain't conversation, Alpha. It's a memoir book that she gonna write. What can we add to her? Like, yeah, you know, next time just cut that. Like, nigga, I'm in Russia. Alpha. During a global pandemic, there's no what can we share and impart and educate her? She already know.
When she gets home, she's gonna do the circuit. She gonna be.
I'm on that. She like
so do the circuit and say what? So do this. I'm not an intervention. Like, hey,
I mean, people just
like,
don't want to
just
hear
check
her
your bag.
story. Like this.
Like,
I mean, this is a.
No, Alpha's giving her tips for the next time, and I'm saying she don't need no tips for next time. She can write a book about what to do next time. If there's anybody on the planet right now that can talk about what you shouldn't be doing in these airports,
I mean, she can.
She's like, okay. That's 5 to 10, nigga. That's 5 to 10.
Again, you could have made the argument that why she should have known this before. There's a whole show called Locked Up Abroad. So you saying now she's going to suddenly remember it? Come on, man.
What I'm saying is the reason why she got caught up is a miscalculation of global world politics. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only addition to her understanding how to travel. It's like, yeah, you can slide in Russia if you do it this way, but don't do this shit if Putin pissed off. Like, that's the only extra advice.
You're too visible. Like come on, you got to think.
Yeah.
It's gas money, right?
Okay.
You value asset, but it's also in the darkness of life. That's also show the value. But I ain't gonna say they gave it you because I'm just saying it's like it's not a value where your exchange rate is a fucking terrorist with a gun book. It's pretty pricey pond.
But I want to go to like being released. How big of a threat is he at this point?
So my guess is 2 things. Either they're gonna kill him because they know he flipped on some shit. Like they want him to remove him off the board from a Russian standpoint. That's one theory. That's really the only theory I got right now. I don't really got much more than that. I just got
him getting back to work at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if they can use him. They just want him to stop. So tell him what he know.
The
only addition
being fueled by. I mean, going back. Not to cut you off, Alphonse, but going back to the comparison we made with the drugs coming in. I mean, he was allowed to operate in these quote unquote third world countries and fueling these wars. Like, they don't need him no more. Like, politics and diplomacy, we dropping the guns in there now. So I mean, like, I don't even think it's really a fair. I mean, it's the exchange isn't really like his. And how long has he been in here in the United States serving time?
Late 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, all right, you can have him at this point. We really don't give a fuck. Let's just bring her home. I mean, like,
nah, he must not have. So to Dre's point, if they want him back to the point where it got leaked to the press, he hasn't told something that they know he knows. And so they go pump for information and then probably get rid of him. But there's something there.
All I'm saying is I don't know. Viable. I don't know. The fact that they made it public, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. They made that shit public. Yeah, I don't know. That's more money. That's different, way different clearances than I got. But
in a simulation to begin with. So I mean, try to stay out the matrix as much as you can. Like,
yeah, it's definitely bring her home all day. Bring her home. But I understand 9.5 if it's you got to make the contract match.
To that point of the simulation, though, yeah, I hear the Earth spinning faster.
Yeah, I heard about that. Shit's crazy.
It's like a second and a half off the day.
Like
the Earth is spinning faster. So when we say time is flying, we're not lying.
The other day was like a 1.5 seconds shorter or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not a whole second, bro. Don't scare him. It's like it's a fraction of a second. Nah, it's a fraction of a second.
It wasn't a whole second?
Hell nah.
I must have read this shit wrong. I really thought it was a second and a half.
That's wrong.
I don't know.
1.5 per day.
We feel that shit.
It wasn't like it was like that day. It wasn't. It's
Yeah,
not
for one day, it was like an
It
eighth
was
of
just for one
eighth
day.
of an eighth of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It's not a
I
continuous.
was about to say, with Trey, like we be throwing up, like we be like
Like, it's-
having headaches and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we feel a second.
Everything would be off.
Yeah, it was
Well,
one
yeah.
point.
because the difference
1.59
between a solar
milliseconds.
day and the term I don't remember the term of it's two
Yeah.
different type of days within. Is the day that the
The
sun is,
longest day of the year and the shortest day.
I don't even
And
Instagram. I mean,
Yeah.
that
You
post
gotta
is
get back to
long
astrology, my brother.
I don't even know what page I read that shit off. I mean, it was a
Return
cool
to King
page. It wasn't
Pyramids.
just a crackpot on Instagram talking shit. It was like, I don't know, but yeah, the earth spin fast, a little bit faster the other day.
yeah, it's a little bit faster.
Just back in that square.
The last thing I wanted to talk about was go to baseball. They did it.
Oh yeah, shit.
The Nationals did it. They traded Juan Soto and Josh Bell, who was actually crushing it in his time here. And they got a bunch of prospects back. And a hitter named Luke Voigt, I believe is his name.
They got
So
two big leaguers out the deal.
yeah, no, I mean they got
AJ
one of the
Crawford, is that was his name?
yeah, okay.
Who's playing shortstop for
Yeah,
Crawford.
the Padres.
Mhm.
So for me, the Nationals get it incomplete. I just like we talked last week. There's just too many unknown things. Like now, what's gonna happen with the sale, and then like how many of these major leaguers are gonna come up? But it's
Business.
definitely there's like no reason to really go to the game unless you feel like being outside drinking a beer.
Business.
Catching the baseball game. I mean, but this takes us back to when the Nats first, in the inception of the team, when the Montreal Expos first moved to DC, going to RFK, spending more on beer than you spent on the actual seat,
Mm-hmm.
and just catching the baseball game. And that was like my first time going to a baseball game. Like, this is pretty cool. And there's a
Okay.
baseball game going on. I mean, it's
All
like
right.
just kicking it on.
So one major difference, because I went to opening day at RFK Stadium. So they were new. It was a novelty then. One, they were moving from Montreal. And if you know anything about a moving teams usually suck. They're usually pretty bad. So them being new and going to RFK, like it was an excitement. Bro, they won the World Series. We just watched 3 years of bona fide stars leave the team. It's a different feeling because one, it's even from when they got rid of Harper, because you had Soto. Like, you don't got nobody now. Like, they didn't even kick the can far enough down the road with Soto to have somebody to replace him.
Lou, you got anything?
I'm gonna tell you what Mike Rizzo said. It's hard keeping. I mean, it's hard. I mean, 10 years of contention is hard to keep that shit going. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said when it came down. But it's like, we're loading back up for the next 10-year run, and I get it. I mean, it's a crapshoot, but I mean,
Was it go?
I won't even say crapshoot. It's lottery ticket. They're playing the lottery, but they got some good tickets or enough tickets that it could possibly pay off with the return for Soto. But again, we won't see the return start to materialize for another 2 to 3 years on the major league level.
All right. So, my first question was what Olu was saying. Ask Alphonse, if they weren't selling the team, do you think, based on everything in the landscape, if they weren't selling the team, do they pay to keep them? In your opinion, it's not right around this.
So I don't know. I will say I don't think he gets traded this year if they were keeping the team.
Okay, yeah, no, that was saying it. But do you think at some point they would have renewed his contract and paid him whatever that big number? Do you ever think they would have matched his desired purse at any point? Does he get a new contract here or elsewhere? If they're not selling the team,
So It depends, because again, the problem with the contract was the money was on the back end of the deal when teams usually cut bait. So if the structure of the contract, if they
No, I'm
take
sorry. If the money is right, like you think they would give, you think they would offer him a contract that he says I will sign here. You think they were willing to go to that limit?
so if they don't have money problems, which is part of the reason they're selling the team, then yes, I do think they do that deal the correct way.
Right. So what's the play? They do that deal. What's the deal? And what is that way then?
So the not to defer the money on the back end, put the money like actually make it so he's making 30 to 35 million a year and not 29, which pays him like
So you're saying
I can't even.
wait, you're saying if they had the money, they would do the right thing.
Yeah, which is like the contract they offered him was a back end deal, and the average per year was 29, which is in the middle of the pack in terms of paying your stars. So I think if they actually had the money and they could like pay him 30 a year and have some of that money come to the front, and he would have accepted it. Instead, they paid a backloaded deal, which at that point they get cheaper money for your prime years, and then the back end they go try to get rid of you, so they have to pay you all of that money.
I get you. Go ahead, interject. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I get what Fawn is saying, but I'm not so sure because that's just how they do business. The learners that's why Bryce Harper didn't take his contract. Serge's contract was backloaded. Patrick Corbin's albatross of a contract is backloaded, and he's the worst pitcher in baseball right now. So I don't know if they would have did it different for Juan Soto, being that he's Juan Soto, and just how they do business, but also to a point that we're saying the money problems. The Nationals lost COVID fucked the National. They bent the National and fucking with they lost all that World Series revenue from coming off the World Series, and that's a big reason why the learners are selling the team. And then their main money is the real estate market. So that's another hit that they're taking. So I'm not mad at the learners for not giving Juan Soto the contract that we all feel that he deserves, because it's like, again, back to what we were talking about in the beginning, the cost of doing business. like the bottom line will always be the bottom line. So it's like, and I mean, this is, so what was done in last week, I was on the hook for saying, no, I don't think he's going to get traded. I think he at least finishes the year with the Nationals and they do it at the end of the year. But and I was, as true as it turned out to be, as true as it was last week, the most value they were going to get was trading them right now, going towards the future, as opposed to getting a comparable superstar or player, big leaguer now. Like, no, that really didn't make any sense. We're trying to set it up going forward. And I think that makes it the team, if not more attractive, almost as attractive to the new buyers. Like, because the structure is good. The farm system is good. Yeah, they're going to be some shit, but there's going to be money and there's going to be free agents that can be signed in the next 2 years to make them a competitive team. So that was one thing I do say. Rizzo makes moves to bring in players, and the learners paid their players. Now these exuberant contracts, maybe not, or they backloaded it. But again, that's just good business. And if you accept the contract, if you're willing to take it, then that's fine. Some people want to get paid now. Some people don't mind getting paid down the line, especially when you're bringing in older, more established players. It's the young players that didn't want to take the money. But how they did it, well, we let Bryce Harper walk so we could sign Rendon and Strasburg. Well, Strasburg got signed by Rendon then. Well, we traded Trey Turner and Scherzer so we could sign Juan Soto for Juan Soto again. So it's just kind of like, it hurts as a fan, but it makes sense. So like, so that
I want to make sure.
I think one more point. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, as men pick their teams at 11 years old and they root for them into eternity, regardless if they lose or they get mad. I mean, they go through the ups and downs of the team. It's just like, that will keep me going to the park, whether it's a bad team or not. Like,
yeah.
So, but yeah.
So I'll make sure I don't want to forget that that's this business contract aspect. But I was trying to get to Alphonse is like, is it in Olu said something about the life cycle of the franchise that helped me understand this better. But is it to me it feels like it's a pump and dump. I mean in a good way. Pump and dump from a good way from a business standpoint. Like when you, I'm just assuming, is it from a business standpoint? You ride the wave of getting the championship, and is it more profitable to, like you said, ride the wave of getting earnings, or yeah, we the Nationals and we the champions, and you still have the same product out there, but it does cost you less. Because
You don't have the same product out there, but you don't have the same
I
product.
mean, I just mean a baseball team. I mean a baseball team that says we are still that team that won in the past. Not the roster, but no, not the roster, but the team. Like when a person who comes to the stands, I'm going to see the Nationals, who just a couple years ago won the national championship.
Yes, but your fans are going to say that's not the team that won the championship. There's no
Agreed.
one there that won the title.
But
There's
they're going to
one
be there
person.
saying that. They're going to be there saying that. I'm just saying overtime.
Maybe, or they're going to be in their homes saying that's why we're not going.
I'm not talking about the snap judgment. I'm talking about overtime. If I hit the apex, I could ride this wave all the way down, or try to spend more money to capture it again. When the margin dip, I'm already a championship team. So this seems to me like that's a baseball form. Or I'm asking really, is that this life cycle of a baseball team?
I think it's different for different teams. What makes it different
Right.
for the Nationals
Agreed.
is they don't have the history, say, of the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Cardinals, where there are multiple championships. So they got that championship. But there was a period of sustained winning. But it's like, but one thing that works in their favor, because baseball wasn't here for 40 some odd years, and this is just, I mean, people like to say it's a basketball town. People like to say it's a football team. This is a sports town, regardless of what. But
Agreed.
one thing that works and against them is that it's a transient sports town. So many people want to see their team. So they'll get people in the stands. So that's one thing about it. When the Mets, when the Yankees, when the Dodgers, when those blue blood franchises come to town, they're going to make they're going to be able to keep the lights on, right? So it's just going forward, what's best for the team. Like, so yeah, see you later.
That's what I'm saying. Like they've shown to me that they've shown examples like with what's he went to Philly, that guy. Anyway, that to them it's business. It's like, yeah, I could pay too much money, but we still got a nice little rocking team. I'll sacrifice paying a premium player early at least and keep rock and rolling. And to the point where like this is an obvious play to me that we exited. If we're gonna pay, that's what I'm saying, we're gonna pay to do this money. Of course, we give them low numbers and low in the beginning, because I'm not gonna be on the hook for this when I sell a team, I have to pay the big bucks. Conversely, if I know I'm about to be punished, I ain't gonna take the big fucking paycheck in the first year, delay that shit in the back end. It's just business, all I'm saying.
And if the fans don't come to the stadium, and thus the value of the team is lower, so you don't get it sold, because fans have the right to say we don't want to watch this team either. They could be all Mets
From the
fans
learner's
in there.
perspective?
The new
From the learners?
The new owners.
Yeah.
Who wants to buy a team that no one's just saying we're not going to come to the stadium?
Oh, because it's cheap right now. I have a franchise on a quote unquote cheap. I have a low roster that I can shape and how I can spend the money where I can allocate the funds how I want to. Like they're not being handed.
And how you gonna sell that to the fans? Come watch who?
Oh no, but we get to make those decisions. We get to construct that. It's either hand me a golden egg that I can like keep on, but no one's selling golden eggs, no one's selling the Yankees, or hand me a good product that I can help build up my structure.
They had a golden egg. His name was Juan Soto. They had a golden egg. His name was Juan Soto.
No. Golden egg is a franchise. Like everything said, I have all my
Yankees. The Yankees became the Yankees because they had who way back at the beginning.
Steinberg?
Babe Ruth. They had a player who then turned into other players, and thus they became the Yankees. Same thing with the Dodgers. The Dodgers had a player. The Nationals had a player that could have turned them into the Nationals. A couple of players, several players.
Right.
And they've gotten rid of them. So they don't have the cachet as the Yankees.
I think they're still a good brand.
I think their brand is becoming diminished because they're not able to keep anybody. They kept the people they kept are the the people from the two at the beginning. Ever since the two at the beginning, they haven't kept anyone.
Because they've been riding off the cream. We won a championship. I'm confused. That's what they did that. And now they're selling at a premium, and the person who's buying it has a lower salary expenditure right now, right? I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm assuming that.
Yeah, but they're not going to make any money because even though you're paying less, no one's coming to the games.
I mean, that's all big ass money laundering campaign. Come on, that's what it is. But I don't think they're gonna lose. They're not. I mean,
lose money.
yes, but Alphonse, what you're saying is they should come in losing money plus have this high salary cap for one player.
How would they lose money if they had kept Juan Soto?
Because they're 36 and 71.
You don't think people are coming to watch Juan Soto back?
I mean,
they went all season.
To Alphonse's point, Nationals aren't at the bottom of attendance. They're like in the middle. That's going to drop off some, but
well, I get you with that, but I'm buying a team, so it's not like I can change that. Is that's what they like either wrap that up? Or I'm not gonna buy one that wrapped up.
Then you're gonna just sell it to the transient fans. I mean, you're just gonna sell tickets to the other team fans. I mean, the football team does that. Like, they're going to make the money. Like, but
the football team also has decades here. Like decades.
But they're selling tickets to the other team's fans, is what I'm saying.
You fill the stadium, and what I'm saying is that stadium is gonna be half full.
Real quick, Alphonse.
For those series, they're gonna get people in the seats.
But real, Alphonse, are we debating whether or not someone wants to buy the franchise if you have Soto or not?
No, I'm saying if you want to come in on a good foot, like as the new owners, like, yeah, when you have the press conference, yeah, we're the new owners. We go sell you on. Finish the sentence for me.
Here's what I'm saying. Because earlier we said, like a couple of episodes, we said that what we heard was that the new owner, whoever's going to buy it, because I don't think they've identified, but whoever this is, the energy is have this Soto business settled, right? That was the biggest thing. Because I buy it this year and he ain't settled and he's still on the team next year, I don't want to deal with that problem. So to me, it's like someone's going to buy that team, how he's sitting, wherever the attendance is, either if he's there with a good contract that he liked or he on the team. But sell the business. I'm just assuming.
But to touch on that contract, I don't think he was going. Scott Boras wasn't going to have him sign that. He wasn't going to sign at all. Even the Nets offering that contract, they would. I think.
I don't know.
Tim Kirchin, they could have offered him $1 billion. Like, we're going to free agency and we're going to play the free agency game. I mean, that's just what Scott Boras does. He wasn't signing anything, and now
I don't think so. But go ahead, I'll let you finish that.
This is more of a pipe dream that was discussed in the last 2 days. In 3 years, with the new owner, they're coming in. Say, let's just throw a name out there. Say if Bezos buys a team and comes in, does it like Cohen did with the Mets. I'm spending money, fuck it, because the money's going. I have the money to spend, and I'm gonna recoup it because I'm going to spend it on these players. We're going to bring in free agents. We're throwing money. They could get right back into the Juan Soto business in 3 years if they give them if they meet the number. So when it's free agency and we see that the team has been built up. So would you? And again, it's a pipe dream.
He didn't say pipe dream. That's right. He didn't say pipe dream.
It is a pipe dream. But you see that instead of you signing a contract and being here for 2 years and middling on a bad team, you see that we're building the team back up and we're willing to spend money to make the team better, come back, and we got these young guys that are ready to rock and roll. Go to San Diego, because I don't think he's signing the deal in San Diego. He's going to free agency regardless, because the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, everybody gonna want to be in the Juan Soto business. So it's just. And even if Juan Soto doesn't come back, I think the new owners who are going to come in, they should be the owners that want to come in and spend money, not come in and this is just going, we're just doing this just to do it. I don't think new owners aren't doing that in this day and age in sports at all. Owners are coming in there spending money. That's just my opinion.
So I do think he would have signed with the Nets. I do think he would listen more to his father rather than Scott Boras. And his father's still around. And so I think had the Nats came correct, it would have made for an interesting debate. Because while I hear you, I also think if you make the money right, like Scott Boras will sign it and will get you to the Dodgers later on. I'm glad you said pipe dream, because if the Dodgers and the Yankees are going to call in the free agency, then like it does. I don't think the Nats will be able to match them at all.
Bezos.
Everybody got a
I
price.
don't think the Nationals be able to match them at all.
I do have a question though. Based on what the pipe dream, I'm asking, isn't that similar to what they do in soccer when they loan out players? Or is that similar to what they do? Not in the same construction, like but I'm saying just a different mechanism of go play for that camp club team for a while, but we own your right, we still own your rights, and you come back. So that's how they do it in that mechanism. If Olu's play
It's
was
usually a
because you go
different
into the
league,
team,
though. It's a
Yeah,
different
I think
league.
it's a different.
I mean, fuck it, it's a different.
like they send them over here to come play with us for a little bit.
No. I dig what you're saying. I know it's a different mechanism. I do dig it's a different mechanism. But if it's go over there, kick over there for the homies, try to win a ring with a good team that's not gonna pay you, it's all a pipe dream. I'm just saying. Let me say there's a similar. How about this? It is a similar mechanism in soccer. Is all I'm saying. True, it's a whole different league. It's the same premise. Go play for
So-
who needs a leg, and they'll cover your fee for a little bit. We own your rights.
That would be a lot more easier to swallow if they didn't trade him at the first time. Because I think I said this
Trade him at
last
the
week
first
or
time?
2 weeks ago. Like the first available time they could trade him, they traded him. If this was he entering his last year, I would be a lot more believable. Like they
This
just
is only
traded
contingent
him.
on the franchise sale. I think everything we position is from this franchise sale perspective.
But he can't meet the new owners till he comes to free agency.
Oh, he ain't meeting the owners. He meeting the money.
He said he wanted to do that. He said he wanted to meet the owners.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm just talking about. I'm talking about the pipe dream version.
That's what he
When you see the
said.
money
You
roll.
gotta take, in this shit, you gotta take. I mean, take that shit. What people say is
And,
great. Because again,
So go.
Again, what are we talking about? We talking
Business.
about business.
Like, to this point.
Yeah,
I want to know the owner.
owners. Give a fuck
If
about
it's Bezos,
I want the money. So I mean,
yeah, not
Yeah.
a bad. That's negotiation.
but even with this was the first time that they could trade him. But this was also you striking while the iron is hot to set the team up for a later time. So I mean, it could go both ways. This was the avenue that they chose. If the Nets were sincere in the offer that they made and they didn't like it, Juan Soto's camp, like, okay, cool. But damn, I lost my train, so I'm sorry. But they want to go to free agency at this point. After that, after the offer was made, they want to go to free agency. So it's like, okay, if he's going to go to free agency, he's not going to sign with the team that we traded him to. So let's fleece this team. They get him for the next 2.5 years, but we're setting ourselves up because we're not going to be good in those 2.5 years, even with Juan Soto here. So it's kind of like,
I'm like the small monkey wrench. The Padres pony up.
Oh,
but
Padres pony up, and then.
But I don't think they go
Right.
to the negotiations table until 2024. He's not going to. I think at this point he's playing out his contract.
got a question for the both of y'all. If in the next 2 years Padres win the championship, you think they're gonna pay him what his new value is, Alphonse?
Yes.
Ooh.
They were in a worse spot than DC, San Diego.
In terms of attendance?
They are in a worse spot. So the reaction of this guy comes and brings us a World Series, and then you don't pay him. So we go back to the ghetto.
But I mean,
Coast on the cream.
San Diego's they spending money. They gave $300 to Juan Machado. They signed Tatis.
No,
That's what I'm
can they
saying.
afford to pay him too? Like, can they afford to pay him? That's what I'm saying. I don't think
If
they can
they
afford
win
to
the
pay him.
World Series,
They win the World
they'll
Series.
find the money. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they win the World Series.
Yeah. We'll get some bottom of the barrel pitching. You just helped us bring a World Series. We had Tony Gwynn, and we didn't do shit. Oh nah,
Oh, they were contenders. Just
Nah, bro, they
with
weren't
them Dodgers.
contenders.
They were some years they were contenders.
Yeah, some years, and it wasn't even the Dodgers. It was the Giants who was kicking their ass.
I mean,
And then
they end
back
up being a hell
before
of a division.
the
That
three
NL
divisions,
West is a hell of a fucking division.
because before they split, the Braves was in that shit.
Oh, just the NL. I'm just talking about like off the regular season shit. Then you had the Diamondbacks come in, and the Diamondbacks were pretty good those years. And see, and that's another thing. That new team, they came in and they spent money. Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, I want to say, was it Juan Gonzalez or was Luis Gonzalez?
Luis.
They had?
Juan was in Texas.
Juan was in Texas. So
Left-handed first baseman.
So it was Luis Gonzalez who hit that
blooper.
Against the Yankees.
So, but their problem is they didn't have no farm system.
And that was the Nats problem. But that's another thing.
The Nats had a farm system.
But they had to deplete it to get some of their players. But with winning, that fucked them up. They weren't able to restock the farm system. So so last year's trade with Trey Turner, Scherzer, and then this year's trade, their farm system, they're going to be able to build it back up. I mean, it's a lot. They got young players. There's a lot of young players. And when you say for every five good minor league players, you expect at least 3 of them to come up.
When it comes to do it,
So I think they have about 8 to 10 players in the minors that are quote unquote blue chippers. So we will hope 4 or 5 of them could come up and be credible.
Oh, you said one time you said for every 5. What was the phrase?
You expect 3 of them to make it to the big
to make
league
the club.
Oh, okay.
And contribute in a significant way. I mean, we're talking about blue chippers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it might be too soon, but I'm becoming a skeptic because it's like, cool, 3 of them make it, which means the Nationals in their history they go sign 1 of them.
Well, we have new ownership coming in. We have some new, we have some new guys coming in. Let's hope that
because if we look at the last 3 years, they actually signed. They had 3 come up from the minors: Rendon, Trey Turner, Juan Soto.
4, because you could throw.
Yeah, I was going to give him a little bit. I wasn't even going to say Bryce, and I wasn't going to say Strasburg.
Definitely say Bryce.
So, all right, even
but
then
Strasburg he came.
Signed.
I'm just saying he didn't spend time in the minors.
He was a draft pick.
Yeah, he was a draft pick.
He was, and I'll even count Zimmerman. So 6 people, 6 homegrown players.
Oh, Zimmerman's homegrown? I ain't know. I'm that saying.
Yeah, he's Zimmerman.
Ryan Zimmerman.
He's Mr. National, homegrown.
He was a draft pick. He was their first draft pick.
The first draft pick.
And they didn't give him a contract.
So 6 homegrown players, 6 came up. They gave 2 draft picks. They gave 2 contracts: Strasburg and Zimmerman. Everybody else, and they made it to the majors. So that's why I'm like, damn, they go pay 1 of them based on.
Well, the learners did, but they really
they didn't pay Rendon. Honestly, Rendon done went out to Anaheim and done fell off a cliff.
Shit, you ain't see him out there throwing hands, man. He got a cast out there in the fights, man. He part of the team.
But I mean, yeah.
I think the last 2 are the ones, like, if they'd have kept or found a way to keep Trey Turner or I get Juan Soto got the haul. So I think the last 2 are the ones that's like, because the last 2, Bryce Harper, we get it. Like, cool, we get it. You ain't gonna pay him. We got Juan Soto. But now it's like you gave away Trey Turner and Juan Soto, and we have to watch them. Like, Trey Turner just had a 20-game hitting streak. Juan Soto, first night in fucking San Diego, he out there getting tingles and shit. Like, Max Scherzer's still pitching good. Like, it's just like.
This is all after the championship, though, right? This is all after the championship.
So now we gotta wait another 40 years to get another one?
Another how many?
10.
40 years to get another one?
Yeah, 10 though. 10, 7 to 10. As long as you're going 7 to 10, you all right.
But I mean, it's not even
Once a decade.
but
Once every day. Like,
get into
in the
contention.
This is
I think
all right.
that's
So
that's what's more important. And I know the Jive Time Turkey podcast, we only play for championships around here. I don't know how we like to do it around here, you know. But we want to get to the show, you know what I mean? Let's get to the show consistently on a consistent basis, you know.
yeah, it's PC.
But
so this is what I'll say though. This is the first time that they don't have like a proposed centerpiece on the field.
yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
And so that is my word. Like,
Can
even
we
in
sell
the
the
early
team?
days, they had Zimmerman. Come watch Zimmerman, our first draft pick. Strasburg is getting ready to come up as soon as he get his arm together. He came up. Like right now,
Abrams gonna be that guy.
you said Abrams?
Abrams.
I think so. I mean, I just
CJ Abrams. Am I saying it right? I feel like that's a football player. I'm saying.
no. CJ Stroud is the football player.
Okay, but yeah,
So
I
I'm
think
pretty
he
sure
was
CJ
J.J.
Abrams. That's the director. That's
Yeah.
the movie director.
Yeah, that's what I kept hearing. I kept hearing J.J. Abrams. I was like,
Mhm.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I think going forward, he's gonna be the one. He's gonna have to be the face of the franchise for foreseeable future.
That's it.
Well, you know, I mean, I get it. It's
Like-
just
It's a new team, right? New owner. If it's new owner, like you bring in Kevin Durant or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Davey Johnson.
It's gonna be free next year, right? It's like goodbye.
I mean,
It's
yes,
always
again,
goodbye.
well, look, they need to hurry up and they'll need to hurry up and sell the team. If they hurry up and sell the team and get Bezos in there, you know,
They gonna
we
sell
talked
us.
about the big free agent.
Man,
Well, fellas,
football's
some
on the way
player
out.
development.
You're not gonna care about a month.
For the foreseeable future, it's gonna be player development that they're gonna sell. That's gonna have to be the marketing player development. And I mean, but they are good at developing players, though. I mean, that's one thing we can't say about the Nationals organization.
You should be happy they did the trade, Alphonse.
Why?
Because if it was no noise, we would be talking about them
Mhm.
until fucking off-season training camp next year.
Yes, we would, because we
We had to
You
win.
would talk Nationals at 71? You would talk about
if
them?
Juan Soto's out there
Alphonse, we
crushing
didn't start
shit,
talking about the Nationals till they was about to trade Soto.
because we didn't start talking about baseball until they start
You
talking
trying to
about
make
the
my
trade
point?
deadline.
Trying to make my point?
Mhm.
Because football's
No.
coming. Football's knocking on the door, and we don't have a big football coming in the house. He get the big chicken, and we just got to sit there and let him eat it.
We talked
Hot
about
grease.
them last year, and they
Hot
were
grease.
middling last year. We talk about the Nationals.
Until those injuries came, they were 42 and 30. 42 and 40. They were 2 games above 500, and then they just got hit with injuries hard last year. I mean, it's true though.
I know. Well, you said 2 games. I thought you was like 12.
Well, 2 games over 500 in baseball in the middle of the season,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
The Braves, who won the World Series, I believe, were 2 games under 500. I think they
Again,
were 51
again.
and 53.
In a
Not arguing that.
102
We know.
game season,
But I thought he was
Right,
going
that
to.
don't
I
mean
thought the
nothing.
stat was going to be like, whoa. It was like, not too bad.
no, they were in. They
No,
were.
that's where you wanted. So,
They were
hey, look, we got to
contending.
explain it to him.
It's a
We got to explain
marathon.
it
You
to
don't
him.
want somebody to burn up too fast.
Yeah.
They
I
were
get it.
in the hunt.
I get it. I just thought I just assumed we made a quote. They were going to say something. He's like, 2. I'm like, oh, 2 games. All right, cool.
Schwarber was
Better
knocking
than 1.
stuffing out the ball. Josh Bell was playing good. Strasburg was dealing, and then Strasburg and Schwarber got hurt, and just the bottom fell out.
Alphonse, good move, bad move. They traded Soto.
Too early to tell.
Did it already, yeah.
I said that.
I was
said
like, the
it's
same
too-
thing. Olu, how you do?
We get incomplete. We don't know for the.
Oh, you did say incomplete.
I like the return,
You know
but
what I
we
say?
won't
Good
we won't
business.
be able to judge the return for at least 2 years, at least 3 years.
And I'm okay with that. You know, it's just, you know,
Man,
I'm not.
y'all
Somebody
acting
asked me to
folks
go to the
ain't going down
game.
to the
Like,
yard.
Those same 2.5 years that we would have sat here and wrote it out with Juan Soto and see what would happen when he hit free agency and what could be done. We're still on that same timetable, 2.5 years to see what comes up. Baking a cake. I mean,
indeed, we shall see. There was some other moves made at the All-Star
Tiger.
break.
Nah, let's skip the Tiger. I want to hear your point on Tiger. I don't want to go to sleep with this
Oh,
baseball.
me?
Yeah, what's your point? You said something to judge me about Tiger. I want to make sure I understand what's your context.
I'm glad he turned down that money. And
Why?
why? Because he
Yes.
don't need to be associated with that. I've said this many times. Like,
Associated
I
with
don't.
what? Associated with what? Associated with the Saudi government?
Yeah, the Saudi government.
He associated with the American government?
Where does he live? He lives in America. I don't.
Yeah, so what's the
like,
problem?
That's why he would side with the American government. But why would he side with the Saudis?
Because it's
For what?
$700 to $800
He don't need it.
million.
He don't need it.
That's the point I was gonna make. Phil
He
Mickelson,
don't need it.
Phil
He
Mickelson
Who
don't
don't
need
need
it.
700 to 800? If people didn't need it, Buffett would be 100 billionaire. If people don't need it, you don't
Ooh.
need none of this shit.
Phil
But
That-
the
but
pursuit
he-
of it,
money.
It's
Huh?
different.
He
Like,
took it. Mickelson needed it
yeah,
because
I dig it.
he's a degenerate.
Yes,
yeah.
100%.
So he needs it. But Tiger don't need it.
Tiger, I think Tiger did. I think it was more legacy that Tiger didn't go.
Mhm. And that's my next thing. Now Tiger's back on top of them. Like,
All
as I
right.
said before, they were like, oh, wagging his finger about his marriage. Now he's like, okay.
But he,
Precisely.
but
That's what I'm saying.
Tiger
Fuck
Woods-
them.
for the past what
Why are we beholden to these crap?
23 years,
Real question.
Tiger Woods has been the PGA, even with his drop off. Like
Yeah.
the
Go
PGA is
make
the
another
PGA
league,
of
Tom
today
Brady.
without Tiger Woods.
Go make another league, Tom Brady. First off, we know he's hurt.
He
That's
don't
kinda
want
like-
to.
That's
Why?
kind of like
For
going
what?
to the USFL.
Oh, no. First off,
USFL with more money.
I'm not saying I'm not saying he should have. If you don't know, you took this. Yeah, fine. He did what he did. I'm saying if I wasn't, I'd have gone. Fuck that. I'm saying the rationale to me is like, who cares about? Because they the Saudis. Like, nigga, we drop like who? What? Because they drop bombs and they kill people. Like, well, what's the comparison? Because they kill folks,
Oh,
we kill folks.
the Saudis.
And what's the?
What they? Saudis killing people?
I don't know.
That's who's
I ain't heard- I
supposedly
ain't never heard
behind 9/11.
Oh, plus the Khashoggi, the journalist.
And the journalists, they definitely killed the
We about
journalists.
to go back to the structure argument, talk about 9/11. Okay.
I'm saying. That's my thing. Like the rationale because they the Saudis. Like, what did that mean? They killed the journalist. I mean, what
All right, so
they killed George Floyd. Like, what the
okay.
fuck we doing? Like,
I'm
Okay, so
on that route.
all right. Well, I mean,
like,
they got jobs over.
that's the
They got
rationale.
jobs
The
over
rationale,
there,
like,
Dre. They got jobs
because-
in the Live League. Like they looking for people to come work for them. So, like, I'm sure you can get your bag there if that's the case. Like, all money ain't good money. We know this to be true.
Even the money we get ain't good money. Because they don't get, like, what are we saying? Like, it's universal, not good.
What money got blood on it, huh?
Okay.
That's what,
I'm
like,
just
all the
saying,
money got, this money got our blood on it.
I see why Tiger.
Again,
I get why
I see
Tiger.
why-
did, though.
No, I know why he didn't go. I'm saying that's bullshit.
and that's fine. And I'm saying they have jobs, so like you could go get some of that money too.
You know why?
They got
I
money they're
can't.
giving out for everybody, so you can go get that money if you so choose. Like you yourself
Oh,
can go get that.
I think he more think. This could be completely off base, but say if his father was still around, his father wouldn't go for that.
I get it. Yeah, because they bought into the social structure. Okay.
I just
Because the daddy wouldn't kill over half of that side.
raised, how he was taught the game. It just, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Like
Yes, he
but the
can't go
rationale is
middle.
like because it's for Saudi. It's like
I don't know.
Brittany Griner just got
I
locked
don't-
up for
I
playing
don't-
Russian basketball. Like,
that just makes it easier for the public to accept.
nigga,
I really think it's
Kobe and them was playing basketball in China. Like, what we saying? Like, what are we really talking about? It's all about the American narrative. If you step outside of the American narrative, you get treated like it's an idiot move. Like, you said, Charles Barkley should. Who's not watching Charles Barkley talk about golf? It's because it's Saudi-backed money. Like, nigga, all this money might Saudi-backed money in the real. So it's just kind of like where we get our. It's like what?
So, but if that's the case, then Dre, go like we all have the ability to go get this money from all these different places. We decide not to for various reasons. If you're saying all this money is whatever, then bro, they need you in Saudi. They could use you. They could use your skills in all these places and pay you a lot more money. So if that's, but we don't for various reasons. So
They
whatever
not
your
paying me
reasons,
$15 million. If you put me $15 million in my face, I'm getting that money. I'm bringing it back to Bill Harriet.
go look it up.
You say
It
you
can
put money in
happen.
what?
Go
Get
look
that
it up.
money and come back to Bill Harriet.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
thing.
Be careful. So
Maybe
go
Tiger
look it
can't
up.
come back. Maybe Chuck can't come back. They ain't got the complexion for the connection.
I'm with you.
Mickelson and them and whoever else, but Rory didn't go either. So I mean, that's another thing. I think Rory didn't go because Rory really is the face of the PGA. Him and Tiger are kind of the faces of the PGA, with Tiger in his decline and Rory in his ascension. It's like, I could go over there and do that, but this shit about to be mine for the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm like, I'm gonna make that money. I mean, Tiger might not get 800 million in the next 5 to 10 years, but
he might.
Them
golf courses.
He might get 5.
He get to design all the courses. Now he get to design all the courses for the PGA Tour.
They gave him a reason not to go, right? Like they made it worth his while to not go.
That pressure, that white structure pressure,
and that pressure comes with.
Yeah, I'm with you. That white structure pressure was got your shit, your fucking car beat up, and all your shit exposed.
Look, nigga,
Watson?
You ain't going over there. We gonna give you for you not to go. Cool. All right. You still our favorite niggas. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's just outrageous. Like what, nigga? 800 million for golf, and I can't walk, nigga. What
I'll
team
say
you know?
is, go look up jobs. They got jobs over there for American citizens, and you can go get that paper.
Ain't smoke weed over there though.
Don't bring the vape pen.
Hey.
No pen.
Clean.
Hey, it's the money's worth it. The money's worth it.
But hold up, though. We all keep first off, Alphonse, it's not fair to keep saying go over here because
you're saying money don't matter.
No, because you're saying that they got traveled to Saudi Arabia to play. The next couple games is in Chicago, Bangkok, Saudi Arabia, Miami. But it's still a tour. It's not like they gotta go travel elsewhere. It's just a tour sponsored by some Saudi investment. But your point was about if the offer was placed in front of me, I'd go do it. And I'm saying you can get the offer placed in front of you. That's what I'm talking about. I'm responding to your statement of if the offer was placed in front of me, yeah, I'm gonna take it because all this money dirty. That's what I'm responding to. The crux there is placed in front of me. You're saying the offer is placed in front of me to go get it. I'm not. No, if it was literally placed in front of me, it'll be considered. That's all I'm saying. The point about Tiger is this. It's not like they're going to travel to Saudi Arabia. It's just backed by Saudi Arabia money. And because of political patriotism, we got act like it's the wrong thing. Like, if we knew who backed all this shit, like a city of Detroit's backed by China, what are we saying? Like, we pick and choose a narrative when we get outraged. Just because it's some Saudi Arabia money that you know about, and they use it as a proxy because Sugar, respectfully for the journalists, it's like, come on, y'all, it's golf. The real tactic is it's a competitor, and the PGA can't handle it because they ain't got no money like that. You can't compete with big oil. That's what the biggest thing is. And we ignore that part. All this is protecting their turf. It's a turf war. Because again, Portland, Boston, Chicago. If you had Tiger, we're watching that. I don't give a fuck with PGA or Live. If Tiger's playing, we're going to watch it. That's the real thing. It's turf war. So they use the Patriot flag to cloud it. It's business.
Tiger rolling with, people that got him there.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? But at 700, 800, it was Dre Taylor, the golfing extra, you know what I'm saying? Shit. And I'm going, and the first pro I'm talking to is Farrakhan. Like, hey, need that setup. Because you know what you're playing with. Because you know that it's gonna be some back. They're gonna uncover some shit. So
you don't know if the setup come from the people who supposedly paying you. They don't feel like paying you no more, so they just go off. You
definitely know it's a setup.
Okay.
You definitely know it's a setup. It's all a setup. Okay. I'm trying to build funds for Harriet though. So 700, 800. I'll holler at y'all a couple years.
Again, they can place it in front of you if you like the same way you got to go get the money here. The same way you gotta go get the money here, you could go and do it there. So if it doesn't matter who's giving you the money, why are you only going to track it here?
But what I'm saying, it does matter who gives you money. But in this case, it's like it's the same. They both gangsters. It's both gangsters, bro.
So if they both gangsters, then it doesn't matter.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I would take the money. Yes, I
But
would
you
take
just
the money.
said all money is blood money. You said that in this conversation. You said,
Yes.
so then all money, so it doesn't matter who gives it to you.
No, it does.
How? It's all blood money.
When
That's
you
what you
hand me
just
$20,
spent 10
if you
minutes
hand
to
me $20,
say.
you're handing me $20 of blood money. All this money we operate, me and you, when you pay money for t-shirts, it's blood money. But because you earned it and you gave it to me, it's worth something. I mean, what I'm saying, like it's different. There's levels to this. We know that. All this money is currency, is blood money. It's built off us. What we saying? That's not blood money. It's built off blood. All this American
So
dollars,
if it's
blood
all
money.
blood money, then why does it matter who you seek it out from? It's all blood money.
That's
You
my
just said
point.
that. Huh?
Right. So what I'm saying is, if the Saudis offer Tiger Woods money, and you're telling me the reason why he shouldn't take it is because the Saudis gave it to him, I'm like, but it gets paid by American gangsters. That's all I'm saying.
And what I'm saying is, if you're saying that, then spin it forward. All of us should be going to the highest bidder. And you just said, no, I'm not doing that.
What? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I just told you they can put 50 million in my paper. That's the highest bidder. Peace.
I could go get a higher paying job teaching English in a foreign country.
How far that's you, brother? I get it. What? That's not blurred lines. I'm talking from my perspective.
I don't do that because I don't want to go live in those countries because I don't want to live under their governments for various reasons. But if I had to say,
neither would Tiger Woods.
Okay.
Neither would
But
Tiger
you're
Woods.
saying you would, even though you. You would?
No, I'm saying if they're going to be the source of my $15 million, okay. The American government pays me now.
And I'm saying you can actually get that. And you're like, nah, I'm only
I'm
if they
not
come
going
and
over
offer
there.
it to
You
me.
missed my point. If they give me a job to do here or whatever for $15 million, I could consider it. It's not going to be who pays me in that situation when I'm comparing governments. The U.S. government versus Saudi. They both kill and control land.
And I'm saying you could actually live that out. And you're like, nah, I can't. And I'm like, okay.
Tiger should have took him out.
Okay.
He was the man that built 2 leagues. And they're not going to stop him. Like, they're not going to stop. You know, they're not going to stop the league. Like, it's going to grow.
Okay. And that's fine. I'm glad Tiger's not a part of it. You don't need 700 and 800 million. Like,
okay.
So, okay. But yeah, that was all I had for this episode. So if anybody has anything else, now is the moment.
I gotta go talk to the coach. Y'all getting a receiver? You need to do your Cowboys talk. You gotta do a Cowboys talk every week.
No, you're not getting a receiver.
Really?
They're not gonna be aggressive enough to go after OBJ. And after that, I don't really know of anyone else who would come in. So hopefully the defense is as good as advertised, because I don't know if y'all saw the video, but there's a video of CeeDee Lamb torching Trayvon Diggs in 101s.
I thought that was a different receiver. It was Simmons. Number I saw it was
I thought it was 88.
Maybe CD got him too.
Because I saw the back of the jersey, so I thought it was a little stop joint.
Because I don't think it would have got as much fanfare as the one that on the poster that I saw. But first of all, one-on-ones are catered to the offense, right? That's tailored to the offense, even though they're just running 9s. But that's what people have been saying about Trayvon Diggs. He's not a cover corner. He's a zone corner. He's a ball hawk. That's what it's all did. And
that's why it's a problem.
You think that's the problem? I mean,
So here's
He
why I
could-
think it's a problem, because he's going to want to prove that the 10 plus interceptions he got last year, he can do it again. And so he's going to take more risks. And he already gave up a bunch of yards last year. And if you're already not showing in man coverage, like your acceleration is not where it's at, because that's where he got beat, like the acceleration after the break.
Being a big
Like,
that, yeah.
you can't jump a route if you can't accelerate to get back. And in that thing, and
Is
in
that
that
because
thing,
of CD
right?
though? Like, what if that's just how good CD is?
What do you know? Go face good receivers, Trey. Go face good receivers.
But
We
if
got
but,
fucking
okay.
AJ Brown in our division now. He's gonna face good receivers. He got to step it up.
No, I meant like the speed though, the speed aspect. Like if it's
That's
after
what
you
I'm
got
Face
other
Terry
guy.
McLaurin. He got fast receivers. He gonna have to face fast receivers. So for me, like, yes, cool. You might get beat, but like, bro, he was
Yeah,
like
one
3
play.
yards ahead of him.
Oh.
3 yards ahead of him. That ain't gonna change in the amount of plays you do. To me, like, you
Okay.
have to adjust something where you can't go for the ball. Like, you was too close on the break because you thought you was gonna get a pick. Nah, you got to give up some. You got to give some cushion, because all he did was break down and took off, and you left.
But you
That's
said
not
it's a
going to
history of
change during the
this. So
season.
you saying it's the history of this though. It's not just this one incident. It's a history of this.
Yeah, we have a whole season of like you boom or bust. Cool, you might get the pick, but if you don't get the pick, that's a 30-yard game. And we don't. And this year we don't have the offense to come back and win shootouts because we only got one of those receivers, not two. Because I also saw a video of Amari Cooper or not three, crushing he made a fucking Browns DB fall or some shit. So like we don't have two of those to win shootouts. So you can't be giving up 30-yard plays trying to get the pick. Like, cool, you get a 10-yard catch, make the tackle. And then you really got to time it, because if they pump, you're excited. Like that's why it worried me. Like, I get it, but like, bro, we got to think long term. Like, you can't and the CD Lamb. Like, nah,
You
fuck
saying it's
that.
not
Like,
worth it? See, they're not worth.
I'm
Burning?
saying you got to learn how to play the receiver that you're playing. So cool, maybe if CD catch it on me and he got to go over top of me, cool. That wouldn't have, bro. He was like
What
3
if he
yards
just
behind
gassed?
him.
What if he was gassed? No, I'm just asking. Like, I just
But
watched him. Like, he might have been
Even
tired.
being gas last year, the amount of yards that he gave up while getting those 10 interceptions. That's the thing. It's all good for corners to get interceptions.
Uh-huh.
I don't, as a corner, I never wanted to have a lot of interceptions, because I mean, they went at me a lot. Like, I was getting tested. So it was like, nah, I ain't got a lot of interceptions because niggas don't throw the ball my way. Fuck that shit. So
Okay.
like, nah, like, I have all the interceptions you want. I want my safeties to have interceptions where they coming in, swooping in and getting shit. Like, nah, I'm shutting shit down. So it's like, yeah. And I don't really know, because I only really watch the Cowboys game.
You look tired
You know how they playing
or slow as hell.
in their defense. I don't know, is he playing a lot of off technique or is he playing man? It seemed like in those plays that he was getting beat, he was by, well, in the highlights, it looked like he was by himself most of the time, just him and the receiver, and he's just hawking the ball better than the receiver did, because he's actually a receiver. But I don't know.
He's actually a receiver?
I mean, he was a receiver at Alabama.
Receiver.
Oh man, he just learning this shit.
Saban was
Huh?
like, you want to go to the league?
No, in Alabama now.
Oh, Alabama, he played.
Yeah, Bama.
He played
Yeah.
corner.
Saban moved him to corner. That's why he got drafted at the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was
His whole time at Alabama?
following behind Steph.
His whole career, he played
Like,
DB.
After this,
after maybe his red shirt year?
yeah,
I was just trying to say, like, is he still learning the craft? You know,
possibly.
like if he's still learning the craft as a ball hog, it's like, okay, he'll get better over time, hopefully. But you saying he's slow too?
What I saw, they was together, and then they kept
tired,
going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
he got burnt.
acceleration
He got
ain't
burnt.
there.
He just got ran
Like,
back.
Well, it was 2 days and some shit. I don't know. But is he?
But-
No,
but
aside
that's
from, is
the
he
thing.
slow? Is he
People
slow?
want to
I
hype
don't know.
him up as an elite corner. Like, no, he's not necessarily an elite corner. He's a good cornerback, but he has elite ball skills. But no, he's not an elite
He's
corner.
not a cornerback.
No. And then,
like,
And the
So
Cowboys.
what you think they're gonna be like? What 8, 9, and 8? We got 9 and 8
Yeah.
face. Damn, 9 and 8 face.
So it's a tricky situation.
And I'm sorry for the great
because
discussion. I apologize.
the Eagles,
Look good.
like we don't know. Like
They look good.
Jalen Hurts could come out and light that shit up.
They look good. They got
And
they got
then-
hyping at the backup court. I think I want to talk about that disrespectful, but that whole cover story for him, I was like, really? For Gardner Minshew, I was like, that's a little rest disrespectful. Keep on going. I'm sorry.
They look good on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So like
Look good though.
and again, my whole thing on them is like I just did they
They not
make
5
the
and 14.
playoffs.
Let's only count the math right. Sorry.
If we
5
5
and
and
12.
14, Mike McCartney getting fired.
No,
Like,
I meant the Eagles not 5
whatever.
and 12. The Eagles not 5 and 12.
The Eagles not 5 and 12. No.
So I'm saying they some competition. So okay, understood.
Yeah. I'm just saying, look, our
good.
season is a wash until we make the conference championship. Then we can start talking about whether it was successful or not. After that, anything less than that,
Really? I just thought they had to win a playoff game. To be honest.
nah.
When's the last time they won a playoff
That's
game?
nothing. 2 years ago?
Okay.
Like, nah, that ain't it. Last year we lost in the first playoff game to San Fran.
Who they beat
But
2 years ago?
they beat somebody because they lost in the divisional round. I can't remember who.
You can't remember who they beat?
Because Dak has won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Was it?
I don't remember who it was, but I know he's won at least one playoff game, or else we would never stop hearing about it. We haven't been to the conference championship since like 95, 94.
Oh, shit.
So
95, 94?
one of those years.
Damn. Yeah, I see why.
Yeah.
Teasing. Stephen A. That's pathetic.
So
For the
that's
money
why
y'all
I'm
be
like,
spending and the hype y'all get. Yeah, he's 1 and 3.
yeah. So not 2 years ago, maybe the year before
One
that. 'Cause
against
2
the
years ago, he was
Seahawks
hurt.
18.
Yeah, it was an 18. Yeah, they
That's 18.
They-
Oh, really?
lost in divisional last year. The 2 years before that, missed the playoffs.
They lost in the divisional. No, 2 years they missed the playoffs.
Yeah, 20 and 19, I believe so.
Well, I know they missed 20 because he was hurt. In 19, though?
19 and
Wasn't that what it is they lost to Green Bay? No,
18.
I'm going backwards.
I mean, they lost.
But I know
that was.
I know he's won one playoff game, so he got at least
Seahawks.
one. So we've
Yeah,
we've
2018,
won.
They won the game in 2018
Yeah, so we've
against the Seahawks, 24-22.
yeah.
So you're
So
saying they won a playoff game this year, but lost next round be, I mean, it wouldn't be a happiness, but you think you'd be in the right direction? Or is it more the same?
no, it
You
would
think more
it'd
the
be
same?
more the same. It's not in
Gotcha.
the right direction.
Okay.
Like,
Right direction is
Okay.
conference championship or Super
Close
Bowl.
loss. Okay. Okay. Respect.
Yeah. So I don't get too high or too low about it.
Packers
Like,
game, that was Romo, right? Yeah, that Packers game was Romo.
we lost to the
Next game.
Packers twice. The second one, the 3rd and 21 was not
Oh, yeah,
Romo.
the first
The
one.
Dez catch was Romo.
That was Romo. That was in
The-
2014. Yeah, that was when I was still in college.
Yeah, the 3rd and 20 was Dak.
Yeah, that was 18. No.
So
That was
yes. So yeah, we'll see. I think next week we could start looking into making predictions or just talking about divisions.
Okay. Because the next week, they would not have played a game yet. The rest of the league has. Or they start that night.
They start probably
That
Thursday.
night.
Because I know that next weekend, I know Saturday they got games.
Yeah, I'm saying we won't be recapping those games.
No, there will be no games to recap. No.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wait, actually,
it'd be a game on.
there will be 2 games if we so choose to.
Yeah.
On next Thursday, they got
Yeah, that's the first time they play though. Ain't no games before that.
no.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So, we'll see if teams are playing their starters because the Ravens play, so they might get their group a series. There's only 3 preseason games. Like you got to work, especially for offenses. Like you got to work the kinks out. You got to work the kinks out. You ain't got time to be fucking around. Like, nah, you got to start getting that work in.
You heard about
Because they're not
Hollywood?
going.
Sorry.
Yeah, I heard that's just different traffic laws in Arizona that they don't fuck around.
But it was 126,
And a what?
65. He was zooming.
Who was this?
Oh, Hollywood
Yeah,
Brown.
I thought he was zooming. Like, and it only gonna be a misdemeanor. Not even gonna be nothing serious. I mean, not. He
I
ain't hit the
didn't
button,
know it
but
was
yeah.
126 and a
Yeah, it's
65.
126, bro. I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, but maybe he
Oh,
just
yeah,
thought
nah.
clear shot. That I get it.
Out in the desert.
I get it. But
That drive.
126?
I get 126.
Still, that's
If you think it's a straight shot.
That's that's right with drive.
I done played GTA too much in those Gran Turismo. Like, yeah, you think it's a straight shot, and
It's probably a straight shot. People probably do the same thing. He ain't the only one. He just got caught.
now, yeah,
Like it wasn't like alcohol. I don't think. I don't know. It might have been alcohol.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't alcohol.
What? Yeah, it would have been a lot worse if it was alcohol.
That would have been a headline. Like,
Yeah.
it'd have been just, yeah, that would have been a headline. So, it probably, as you said, he was just, open road, testing it out. So, but yeah, he needs to get to practice because he hasn't practiced fully yet.
Really?
Hamstring.
Yeah, that's
So,
not a good look. Yeah. The bro got COVID. How's that working now?
Oh.
Same shit. You gotta go away for like 5 days and come back.
Pretty much. Yep.
All right, when that monkeypox hit the league.
Yeah. I do not know. And we about to start. Schools are starting back up.
You see on the 29th?
Yep. On the 29th. So, all right, fellas. That is all
So we want
I've got.
Bill Russell.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Go ahead, Lou. Close us out.
But that was my piece. The greatest winner in NBA history, civil rights leader, civil rights activist, I should say, first black coach. And I didn't know he was a Kappa either. I didn't know that until
what?
So yeah, rest in peace to the great.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. That was, yeah. So RIP, great Bill Russell, first player coach in the NBA. Yeah. Numerous fun videos of him just being himself.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
All right. Until next week, fellas. We'll have some hopefully we'll have some resolution into the two things we talked about the most today.
You take a 950?
What?
He turned down 950.
Type.
950 M's. Come on, man. There's a number. There's a number where you can go to the Saudi side. I'm just saying. There's a number you can go to the Saudi side. And they say, yo, bro, 1 billion. Though you go tell me, yeah, because come on, man. That's a number. Bro. That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. Like, it's a number. And I'm not.
So I'll concede there is a number.
I'm not letting my number be set for these crackers over here. This BJ tour. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't you go over there? Why? Because we gave you money too. Like, yeah, you gave me money, and they got more. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Live it up.
That's fair. Again, all I'm saying is I'm just glad Charles and Tiger decided to sit on the sidelines for this one. Let them have that fight, make that argument. That's cool.
Yeah, we the ones who gonna create world peace, brother. Now we slowing down world peace. We could have solved some shit.
They ain't ready for world peace yet. They ain't ready for that.
They definitely not ready. Obviously not ready for world peace. You're right.
So
Touche, my brother.
we don't need to be on the front lines for that.
Touche, my brother.
Let's let some of them take them shots. So
yeah, definitely. But there's a number though. There's no one we go 1.2,
Fair,
1.2
right.
billion.
That wasn't what I
We got
heard.
your back, Tiger. We got your back. You know what I'm saying? We got the
That
kids.
wasn't it. So,
No doubt.
but yeah, as I said, next week, week 2 of the NFL preseason will be starting. That's crazy. That's actually,
Uno.
sorry, it's
Uno.
week 1, but they
Uno,
call it week
yeah.
2.
Oh, yeah. Time out.
Excuse me. And then LeBron is meeting with the Lakers. I don't know what that means. Talk about his new contract.
Eligible for extension.
Yeah, his extension. KD's supposed to be meeting with Joe Tsai this week. So we'll hear.
That's the owner of the Nets.
Yeah, owner of the Nets. So we'll
Okay.
hear something about that as well, which means we'll probably get some Kyrie news.
No, it's a slow day to go get some good Kyrie. We need to pay homage to the fact that the GOAT, one of the GOATs, had his 2 children in the facility, Duncan. Like, we're gonna look back at that image 20 years from now. Like, that's pretty awesome. Just acknowledging, just saying. LeBron and his kids, that's all. Bronny and Bryce. That's a powerful moment.
Oh yeah,
Black history.
yes,
Powerful in Black
it
history.
is. It is.
That's why the other GOAT was like, yeah, you got it. You good. We're going to send on to the next planet.
Mhm.
I'm out of here. You align the stars up in one building? Yeah, it's cool. It's in good hands.
Yeah, but could have had some. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Yeah, but that was a good
Wait, I meant
good
Bill
video.
Russell. I didn't mean Kobe. I meant Bill Russell, my example. As long as you do that. Sorry, I meant sure.
I totally thought you meant Kobe.
Yeah,
That's why I was like, man, Gianni, they could have been out there in the WNBA.
Timing.
Oh, my bad.
I'm on the timing. Come on, baby. Energy exchange.
Yeah, but see, I was thinking Lakers legend,
Yeah, I dig it. I'm sorry. That's why I want to make sure I clear it up. I want to end on a down note.
But you're right. You're right. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Thank you for rocking with us. Tell your friends, tell your homies, listen wherever you get your podcast. And until next time, peace.
Come talk with the turkeys. We talk that real shit in
Mhm.
sports.